Hello, welcome. It's Francis here. Thank you for coming back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I bid thee welcome. There is a subscribe button below if you would like to help support this channel, and also a bell to be notified when I upload more content. I'm coming to you from Ghana country, and as such, I acknowledge the Ghana people of the Adelaide Plains as being the traditional custodians of this land. Now, wanted to do this video, this sort of like a rethink, sort of an expansion on the 3-card spread that I did last week, to which Ali Barnes, who is a gifted psychic and tarot reading new reader in New Orleans, made a comment about. And I've been wanting to do it all week, but as you can see, I've developed an eye infection, which is quite interesting, especially with what is coming up astrologically, but I'll do that in another video. So I just wanted to revisit the 3 cards, which was Deep Freeze, Goblins, which was reversed, and also Mountain. So if you hadn't seen Ali's comment, she made a point saying that it's like we are waiting for the other shoe to drop. There are many difficult situations on Earth right now, and it's like we do not know how to even proceed when it comes to making bigger life choices. So there is so much to consider. We are frozen with our emotions, but also our actions. Life seems daunting, and she loves the idea of taking a social media sabbatical, find thoughts and feelings, and look at the mountain again, reassessing. As I did mention, sometimes we need to step back because there are many ways of climbing that mountain. So, yes, I agree with all of what Ali has said. Life is very challenging at the moment. Hello, I've got an eye infection and I'm 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks out from traveling. And in fact, this weekend I'm still supposed to be interstate. So I am not. And on all fronts, so we're looking personally, we're looking socially, we're looking politically, environmentally, etc. Everything seems to be changing, and it is this change that seems to be going faster and faster. I guess it could almost be likened to being on a roller coaster, sort of making our way finally up to the top, and now we're on that sort of downhill plunge, and we're going to be snaking around all the turns and whatever, gathering momentum, and this certainly can be what it is actually feeling right now. So when we're faced with, I'll say, danger or uncertainty, we often resort back to our more primal responses, in particular fight or flight mode. However, there is the third, and that is freeze. So when things appear to be getting probably a little bit too much, there's probably too much confusion, even overwhelm. Doesn't seem to matter what we do, we cannot seem to be making headway or understand things, or you may feel like you're being stuck in the mud, not gaining any traction, the wheel's spinning, so to speak. Now it's time to stop. Yes, freeze. This deep freeze, this frozen. Now we can look at this situation in 2 ways. We can see it as a negative or see it as a positive or an opportunity, probably the more better word to say, because giving us the opportunity to reassess, to reevaluate, to gather our thoughts, to look at where we are actually at and what is truly important to us, and not to listen to these goblins. Remember, this card was reversed. So these goblins could show up as social media, advertising, all that fake news that's out there, that even the desire to keep up with the Joneses. Oh, because a lot of the stuff is actually extremely superficial, not long lasting, much like our fast fashion that we have these days that, yes, on one hand, it is very cheap and we can look good for the first 5 seconds. However, the glitter, the sparkle of these fast fashions fade very quickly, like the quality, and then we throw it away, but there's no fairies. It doesn't disappear. It just hangs around. So if you're feeling that you're frozen and there's so many goblins that you need to make head or tail with, close your eyes, take a couple of breaths, start slow down, breathing deeper into your diaphragm. And this way we can get out of our heads and back into our body again. And it's within our body that we can actually center ourselves and also gain a lot more clarity. So one of the big lessons that I personally learnt probably about, where are we, 6, 7 years ago, is that when you feel that life is getting out of control, that you are like into some sort of vortex, spinning around, feeling overwhelmed, then return to the breath. It seems very simple, yet it's so effective. Return to the breath, surrender. When things are out of our control, we can't change them. We just need to learn to go with the flow. Bring your focus a little bit closer to you, back to what you actually can control. And that is how you react to things, how you're letting the energetics take control of you. And the breath is very important. It helps us to simplify things. Also, if you've got a bit of a monkey mind, as the Buddhists put, like a lot of us in the West tend to have a monkey mind that's everywhere, distracting you, then maybe take up chanting mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. The jewel is in the lotus. And this is where I'm not wearing it. Mala beads are very handy because they can help you count, or you can do it on your hands. And yeah, I might do a video if I haven't already done a video on how to use your hands when you're doing a mantra. I'll post it up at some stage as well. So one of my favorite mantras is to Ganesha, who is the elephant-headed Hindu deity. And Lord Ganesha is the remover of obstacles. In his mantra is Om Ganapataye Nam Namaha. And basically is a sort of an honoring Lord Ganesha, who is the remover of obstacles. So you're giving a thanks, you're inviting him into your life. And when it comes to Hindu deities, I personally find them very approachable. It could be that they are still what I classify as a living religion. They're being worshipped and honored by thousands, if not millions of people all around the world on a daily basis. So their presence, their egregore, their consciousness is very vibrant, very alive, very pulsating. So this is my personal perspective. I find I can tap into their energy. I can tap into them. They can manifest, remove the obstacles in the case of Ganesha very quickly and help clear the mind. Even that simple act of the repetition of the mantra. Again, it's helping, it's giving the conscious mind, the monkey mind, something to do, while it's allowing our subconscious to connect to this more the universal energy, whatever you want to call it. If that's not your thing, well, then find something that does resonate with you. Just is this original sound of the universe that can be chanted. You might have a prayer in your own spiritual path or tradition that resonates to you. There's plenty on YouTube. As I said, for Lord Ganesha, well, the one that I do use, there are a number out there, is Om Gan Ganapataye Namo Namaha. And in chanting the mantra as such, it enables you to refocus. It enables you to sort of get out of that spinning vortex that you may be caught up with, which is actually overwhelming you and also sapping your energy. And when you get a clearer perspective of where you are at, then you can face the mountain again. Now, when I look at this card, I see almost as I don't know, a symbol, or reminds me of the Lord of the Rings when they entered Khazad-dûm or Moria, the ancient stronghold of the dwarves, with its gaping mouth there. And it appears to be a bit of a shortcut. However, as in the Lord of the Rings, there were other obstacles hidden inside that they hadn't realized. And this is what can happen when we take shortcuts. Not necessarily orcs or, I don't know, there's the big, I don't know what it was. I wouldn't say demon, but negative presence that came up that had to be battled by Gandalf. But other surmountable distractions of obstacles that we need to overcome. And also something else about the mountain too could be bringing up stuff from the past that hasn't been dealt with. We are currently moving our lunar nodes, and the south node is connected to our past lives, our karmic past, all these things that really need to be addressed in order to move forward. So this is where we really need to bring our attention to the here and now in order to get through all of these challenging situations that we are experiencing at the moment. And it's not just isolated or individuals, we are all going through the same thing. Like I said, I'm 2 or 3 weeks out from flying and I have an eye infection. Yep. So these challenges may not necessarily be on the end goal. They might be just distractions, encouraging us to look for different ways through. And sometimes it might be that just the fact that not necessarily losing sight of the end goal, like climbing the mountain, keeping that in the sort of our background, but maybe bring our focus, our current here and now to the present. Refocus, as I said, maybe something that we're after no longer resonates with us. Maybe we're realizing that there's the timelines or time frames need to be pushed out a little bit longer. What happens when we do take a break, especially for climbing this mountain? Then once we are more rested, we've got more focus, we can then look at the end goal with fresher eyes. Do we see another path, another solution? Are we able to think outside the square, so to speak? Do we take everything, including touch and sink with us while we're climbing the mountain? Are there things that we need to get rid of? Do we really need all the stuff that we are being encouraged to spend our hard-earned cash on? If it is any comfort, especially as we go through these tougher times, maybe just keep in mind that our ancestors have all gone through difficult and challenging times as well, and they survived, at least long enough to eventually bring us forth down the family line. So that courage, that strength, that determination is actually all embedded in our own DNA. So banks and financial lenders may be the modern day equivalent to, say, saber-toothed tigers. Sometimes we may need to consider other options, even whether we actually need certain things right now, or even at all. It can be a very extremely difficult decision in our often needy society that encourages us, as I said earlier, to keep up with the Joneses. And sometimes we just need to ask for help. That's okay. And allow ourselves to be helped. And realize that it's actually not a sign of weakness, shame, or failure. But we all, as I said, we all go through difficult periods in our life. Every single one of us. Even those who appear on the surface to have their life sorted out. We're human. So give yourself a break. And if you can, one of the very better healers, certainly helps on a more energetic level, is nature. So go for a walk if you can. Go and sit in your local park. Breathe. Focus on the air, just entering and exiting. This is life force energy that we breathe in and we breathe out automatically without any conscious awareness. And this life force energy has been around with us since the time of the dinosaurs and even before that. And the stars above us, glittering in the skies, if you can see them through the light pollution, they have also been around, even older than the life force energy. And the galaxies that they represent, that they are. And as you inhale and exhale, and when you're ready to take the next step, then you can start walking up that mountain, 1 foot at a time. Just breathe. So I'm going to end that now. I will be doing a reading for this week, but I might just say don't get to see my eye. That's a bit sore at the moment. I do hope you're well. Let's come back to the breath and blessings.